You want to know what most people aren't talking about, but not here. Not here. We dive into the deeper conversations. My name's Crystene. I'm an Akashic Records channeler, spiritual mentor, and quantum healer. And today I'm going to talk about why I am so passionate about helping other women deeply channel and anchor into your soul-led mission, your soul-led leadership era. Here's why this is important and why it starts with a book that I read this weekend. I wish I had the book here to show you, but I actually reread. I forgot that I'd actually read this during the pandemic, but it's the book called, gosh, I gotta double check. Origin by Dan Brown. Now, if you haven't read any of other Dan Brown's books, I do highly recommend. I didn't even realize I started reading the Dan Brown books, I believe probably when the Da Vinci Code was popular. So it was at like 2012, 2015, something like that. And I began reading all of his books, Digital Fortress. Anyways, it's interesting how at the time I was raised Catholic. And the Da Vinci Code and some of his book, like The Lost Symbol, and now this new one, The Origin, they all kind of tie to this conversation around science and religion and spirituality. And lo and behold, here I am. I end up in the spirituality space as a soul-led leadership mentor. Okay, so this book, I'm going to just give you the gist. I do recommend. It's a really good read, and I don't think you really don't have to have read any of Dan Brown's other books. You could start with The Origin, and it's quite interesting. I digress. At the end, blah, 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 and they make a major revelation at the end about, again, science and spirituality and how this new age of religion and spirituality that can also be grounded in science, that can also be grounded in like not ignoring the facts of like Darwin and evolution and all of that. And we can let go of some of the stories that we just tell ourselves, but it's like oftentimes we know like, is that really true? Okay, I'm not going to get into that. I realize I'm opening a can of worms, like religion versus spirituality. I'll come back to that one. Okay, but ultimately, another thing that came through from the book that is also literally happening right now as we speak, and we're in 2026 as I record this, beginning of 2026, is this symbiosis, this connection between humans as we are today with technology and AI, right? Okay, so it started out with just like the TV, the microwave, the computer, like the old Apple huge big computers, to now like smartphones, to then also AI and blah, blah, blah. And I'm not an expert in any of that, and I won't pretend to be. But what we can see is technology is helping make humans more efficient. And in the book, it makes it seem kind of like scary at first, like technology is taking over. But like really we're actually creating this symbiotic connection with technology because it helps us humans be more efficient. Then it got me thinking, and that's why I had to hit record and put this out today, because it ties back to soul-led leadership and why in 2026, if you're not leading from your deep soul purpose, mission, and calling, if you still don't have a way to deeply connect to your own intuition and soul self, why you're missing out on a main ingredient that is going to help you with growing your brand, your legacy, your career, whatever it is your mission is, you're missing out, sister. If you're only running it from like your human mind, ego, etc. Okay, so from the book, I began asking myself a question of like, okay, so what is really the difference? What is the difference then between a human and AI, which AI will ultimately be robots, right? And like, we know that they're in already some company, someone's already building, or some government already has like robots running around. And I mean, we can already see it with driving cars, etc. But like ultimately, I could be sitting next to like my robot over here, and maybe my robot's doing my laundry. My robot might be like, I don't know, maybe I'm having my robot go to the bank for me to deposit some cash. I mean, who has cash? But I had Christmas cash. Like again, so then you think about it. What's the difference between me and the robot who's running off of like AI or some program? And you begin to ask yourself, and I know people like ask these questions of like, are robots going to take over? And also I've heard people say in the ethers of like, are robots the aliens, like higher beings? And it's like, no, that's not it. That's not it. Higher beings are higher beings. Okay, when we're talking about higher beings, galactic beings, other planets, other galaxies, which we can access within ourselves, because your soul self can access higher galactic beings. Your soul self can remember that you are just an expression here in a human suit, but your soul also is existing in other places, times, and spaces right now on other planets and galaxies as probably a galactic being. So that's definitely separate from the technology that's like evolving right now on our planet Earth and on other planets. Okay, so the robot sitting next to me, then what's the difference? Because ultimately the robot and the AI, like when I'm talking to my ChatGPT, which again, we could just give ChatGPT like a little robot body and it could look like R2D2 or C3PO, right? And so the robot can already think faster than me. So it can already mimic my human brain and like can literally compute things way faster than my human brain. It can store more information than my human brain. It can work through information more efficiently to compute and give me results. Like that's why we've begun to like look to AI. And it's why I can like pop in a question of like, I don't know, like, or help me organize a trip and pick a flight, and all of a sudden like ChatGPT or whatever can like help me pull things together that my own sometimes ADHD human brain struggles with. Okay, so it's like, great. Okay, the robot can already compute and technically think faster than I. Also, we know that robots will be able to evolve to also technically be able to do the exact same things that my physical human body can do. So, right? So ultimately the bots could like be able to do my laundry. The bots can be able to ultimately like pick up 30 pounds of groceries and whatever, put them in my car. I'm not saying we're like seeing these types of things yet, but what we know is a robot could mimic what my physical body does. We might have robots like acting as backup dancers. I don't know. I'm just saying like robots can also then mimic the physical human body and walk and talk, and a robot can sing and all these things. So then it's like, okay, then what is it? What makes me different than the robot? What is it that makes me different? I mean, even business owners, entrepreneurs, CEOs, career people, we're asking ourselves these questions because it's like, what will make me different in the marketplace versus me just like popping up a bunch of AI content? Or now people, you could use my image and we can make an AI video of me sharing the 3 top ways to tap into your intuition or something. So a robot could already do that. So then what? What makes me me and not the robot? That is all soul. That is soul. So how can you miss the boat on leading from soul and learning how to tap into your sovereign birthright, which is how to tap into your intuitive connection to soul, to why you came to the planet, to your soul that's an expression of the divine one source, whether you call that source, universe, God, whatever you want to call it, Allah. How can you ignore that? Because that's literally the only thing. I know that sounds harsh, but that's the only thing that makes you different than the robot is your soul essence. It's the only thing that robots don't have is a soul. My soul is what drives me forward. My soul is what delivers even this video that like, sure, I could probably have an AI do it and they could try to mimic emotion. They could try to mimic my words and all of these things. But I'm delivering this as a transition from my soul, and it's coming out at a certain frequency that a robot can't convey. That can be felt because I'm speaking soul to soul. And when I make moves in the world, whether that's like towards my soul mission, path, and purpose, or when I'm just like moving and dancing with my family and feeling joy and love, again, it's even then I'm moving from soul. I'm moving from soul contracts, things that my soul came here to learn, lessons, people that I came here to love, lose, laugh at, cry at, all of that comes from soul. That's the soul essence. Why we do things, our mission, our beingness, what lights you up, why you do the things that you do, and why I do things that I do, it all comes back to soul. So a robot can mimic and can compute faster than your mind. It can mimic our physical body movements. It can't copy your soul. That's you. And if you're not tapped into soul, you are highly missing out in 2026. This is where you come if you are ready to tap into your soul-led leadership era. My name's Maria. I'm a spiritual mentor for female leaders, entrepreneurs, and CEOs. I'm so excited you're here. Expect more of these channeled messages.